Hello and welcome to this brand new video series for prophets, prophetic people, called the Systemic Prophet Path. And this video is epic. The main reason you may miss the meaning of a prophetic word. One of the great challenges for prophetic people and prophets in particular is properly interpreting an experience, a dream, or the word of the Lord. You know, I believe proper prophetic training can equip you with the necessary skills to navigate the mysteries of God. It is super frustrating when you're having experiences with God, but you don't understand the meaning of the experience. So let's begin in this teaching with understanding that God is not hiding anything from you, but reserving mysteries for you. Psalm 78:2 declares, "I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old." Prophetic technology is the communication through which the voice of God travels. Imagine like the wiring. That's what prophetic technology is. Simply put, different people hear from God in different ways. Many times the methodology of communication is a bit mysterious. Two of the ways that I believe that God speaks to people quite commonly is dreams and visions. As a general rule of thumb, visions tend to be more literal, while prophetic dreams can be very symbolic. And there are times when the lines can get blurred between where you're having a vision, where you're having a dream, so deeper investigation is needed. I want to unpack some very simple rules for the interpretation of dreams and visions, okay? Let's go to Hosea 12, verse 10. It said, "I have also spoken by the prophets. I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets." So what does similitudes mean? It means imagine or image or likeness. One of God's prophetic systems is speaking through parables, symbols, numbers, images. It's not always straightforward. This requires interpretation. One of the number one ways that prophets misfire, they don't investigate and interpret the word. I want you to function in accuracy. I want you to come away from frustration and come into understanding. So we've got to understand we need the spirit of wisdom. You see, the prophetic agency itself is one of divine intelligence and insight. Isaiah 11 verse 2, "The Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, the spirit of knowledge, and the fear of the Lord." This is a promise to believers. Joel 2:28 says, "It will be that afterwards I will pour out of my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams, and your young men will see visions." So we lay the scriptural foundation. Now, let's dive really deep and give some practical keys. You have a vision, you have a dream. How do you interpret it? Let me give you some keys. If you're taking notes, write these down, type them out. Number one, you look for the primary message. I'm going to give you 5 keys to interpret. Number one, what is the primary message? I had a dream, I had a vision. What's the dominant message? Number two, the meaning of the symbols. So if I have a dream and there's water in the dream, what does water represent in the Bible? You're going to have to do some digging. Do not just make an assumption. For prophetic people, for prophets, assumption is dangerous. Number 3, look for the mind or the intelligence of the Lord. Prophetic dreams and visions can contain direction, wisdom, warning, impartation, or even activation. Number 4, and this is huge, the timing of the Lord. You cannot assume because you had a dream about something that it's for right now. Prophets and prophetic people have to pursue the Lord's timing. Number 5, the unknown portion. This is the part you got to pursue in prayer. There may be something you encountered or experienced from God that is unknown to you. So you pursue it by prayer and by wisdom from others. Find a Joseph. When Pharaoh did not know the meaning of his dream, he looked for a Joseph. The reality is this: the prophetic is all about pursuit. That's what God wants. He wants our hearts, our adoration, our pursuit. We're going to hear, we're going to see, we're going to experience things that will demand our attention and proper biblical interpretation. Understand, God speaks to prophets, children of God, prophetic people through symbols, parables, numbers, and patterns. Understanding the methodology of the Lord and his language equips you for skillful function. Joseph actually became a counselor to the most important man in the land, because he went from having prophetic dreams or being prophetic to interpreting prophetic dreams, being skilled in interpretation. A lot of you are stuck because you have experiences, but you haven't grown in your gift. I want to grow you in this series on the systemic prophet path. Joseph grew in his gift. I believe you and I need to do the very same thing. In order to function in a mature manner in the prophetic, a person has to know the primary ways in which God speaks to them, along with some biblical interpretation skills. Once we become activated to clearly interpret prophetic words, encounters, dreams, visions, there's another element I want to share with you. We have to identify the sphere, the place we're called to as prophets and prophetic people. Some are called the marketplace, some are called to the church, some are called to government, and on and on and on. There are a lot of training mechanisms out there right now that are claiming to give you prophetic information and knowledge, but the reality is many of these fall short. In fact, I believe too often a lot of these training mechanisms are stuck. I believe they are stuck in a place of training and teaching mode, but they lack activation. And this is something that to me is so critical for you, is activation. We've got to get to a place of activation. We've been stuck in a teaching paradigm and not an apostolic paradigm. So I've developed a very unique concept that I call the systemic prophet path. I've never heard of anything like it, never experienced anything like it, and I want to share it with you throughout this video series. Now, you could ask yourself, what does this mean, systemic prophet path? Well, simple. I believe prophets are called to systems in the earth, church or religious systems, educational systems, media systems. I want to take the prophetic outside of the four walls and infuse every part of society with the voice of the Lord. If you don't know me, my name is Ryan Lestrange, founder of Lestrange Global LLC and Ryan Lestrange Ministries. I've had the privilege of working with prophets and prophetic leaders all over the world. It's been one of my passions. I've literally trained thousands of people in the prophetic and written a lot of best-selling materials on this subject. And I've come to a conclusion. I've come to the conclusion that you sitting in a classroom without identifying the system or the sphere you're called to and being activated for that system is incomplete. In fact, that will only lead you to more frustration as a prophet or a prophetic person. Have you ever experienced knowing that you're called to the prophetic, but you don't know what system, what sphere you're called to? If yes, I want to help you solve your problem. That's why I'm embarking on this 6-video teaching series that are going to give you some nuggets, some assistance in navigating your own prophetic journey and following what I call the systemic prophet path. Imagine if you could understand your flow, you could properly interpret the dreams and revelations you got. I believe it would bring you such a sense of peace, vitality, and momentum. Many people are missing their prophetic function because they don't have a grasp on the way God speaks to them, the various types of prophets in the earth, and they don't understand the system they're called to. In the next video, I'm going to give you a really important overview of these types of prophets, and we're going to dive deep into what I lovingly call prophetic technology. How does God speak? The how-tos and the major ways that he can and will speak to you. I am really excited to equip you. Please be on the lookout for my very next video. I'm going to share with you the first step in order to begin the systemic prophet path journey. I want to share also a little bit of inside information with you. I am launching a brand new prophetic intensive that is online only. I call it SPI 2.0, Seers and Prophets Intensive. It's my 2.0 edition. If you want to understand these concepts, you don't want to miss this exciting track of training I've developed. The course is going to have very limited registration. While I want to help everybody, I have to focus on the serious, on those that are going above and beyond. So if you want to jump on my early bird waiting list, you will have first access when we open up for registration the night before it becomes available to the public. And this is going to give you your best chance of getting in on SPI 2.0. Go to seersandprophets.com. I'm going to see you in the next video. I'm going to be sharing the first step on the systemic prophet path and giving you a vital key to discover the sphere you are called to as a prophet or prophetic person. But go to my website, get on the early bird list, so when the course goes live, you get first advantage to be a part of it. See you on the next video.